What's up, geeks and gamers? It's Odin coming back with another video, and today we've got the box office breakdown, and it has been quite a slow weekend with movies like Angel Has Fallen, Overcomer, and Ready or Not coming in at pretty below average numbers. But of course, when there isn't a big budget film, specifically nowadays when there isn't a Disney film, the box office really isn't going to be showing all that much. But Angel Has Fallen brought in 21.25 million here domestically for a total budget of 40 million, which is actually kind of lower than what I expected the budget for that film to be. So overall, it's made about half its budget back when you count into the fact that it still also needs to make up for marketing, and it still needs to make up for a lot of other things, seeing it doesn't get 100% of the box office receipts. So things aren't looking too great for it, and it was also a trilogy that no one really had expected. If you've ever heard of Olympus Has Fallen or London Has Fallen, this is the third film in it called Angel Has Fallen. And who would have thought you would have wanted to see Gerard Butler and Morgan Freeman constantly in a film as president and as bodyguard? I know that I didn't. Coming in number 2 this week, though, was Good Boys, so that one is still doing pretty well. I mean, 11.75 million, only a 45.1% drop in week number 2. Meaning that this film is making its money back when you take in everything together. Overcomer is another one of these religious type films, which again tend to do well enough for their segment. 8.2 million is definitely nothing to snuff at, especially when it was a budget of $5 million. And Ready or Not, which is the new film, which actually kind of looks interesting, about someone who is married into a new family and then finds out that this family is crazy and that they have to survive being hunted down. It's a film that I've actually kind of interested to see, because it seems unique, and we don't really get a whole lot of unique films these days because most things are either remakes, reboots, or some variation of a book or something. So it's really cool to see something that's a little bit more original. Obviously, I don't really know much about Ready or Not, so it could very well be based on a book, but at least it's somewhat interesting. Anyway, Angel Has Fallen, making $21.25 million, is again, I think, more than what most people expected it to for a trilogy film, for the third film in a trilogy that, again, I never knew existed and I never knew anyone wanted, but apparently it did well enough to be able to get another one. Nick Nolte's in it, so take that for what it's worth. And yeah, I mean, Morgan Freeman as a president sounds great to me, but overall, I just have no genuine interest in this film. Also, I like that boxofficemojo.com has the lowercase. That's kind of odd to see in a title for a movie. Anyway, Good Boys, the movie that I saw 10 minutes of and said no thank you, because it was just very awkward with kids these young doing the things that they're doing and saying the things they're saying. I know that there's an argument out there saying, oh, that's just how kids that age act, and oh, that's how I acted at that age. Well, someone that didn't act this way and say the things they said and do the things that they did at that age, I can tell you that it's a little awkward, especially as an adult, watching young actors do certain things that are just above and beyond what they should be doing, especially on screen. Anyway, $42 million total as far as domestic, making $48.95 million in its overall gross. Foreign market obviously is not going to go too crazy for this. This is more of an American-type film anyway, but still, $20 million budget. This film is going to be making its money back pretty soon if it hasn't done so already. Overcomer, story about a coach. And you always know when you have a story about a coach and it's about faith, it's going to have a lot of things to do with it. Also, the Kendrick family came together here. Steven and Alex Kendrick were both directors, writers, and producers, making $8.2 million. This is not going to do anything overseas because this is a typical American faith-based film. So still, $8 million is nothing to snuff at for even that type of film. Lion King, $1.5 billion. Are you happy, Disney? Are you happy, normies? Congratulations. You took a movie with no soul and made it reach $1.5 billion. Congratulations. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw, still one of the worst names out there. $588.9 million. Still not doing as well as other films have done in the past in this category, but getting to the point now where it's making profit. So for all we know, makes profit. That means we'll probably get another one. So not only do you have to look forward to Fast and Furious 9, Fast and Furious 10, but also Hobbs and Shaw 2, or Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw 2. Can't wait for that one, right? Seriously, cannot wait for the remakes upon remakes and the reboots upon reboots, right? Ready or Not. So this one is definitely a little bit more of a thriller. Horror thriller is how it's labeled here, making $10.5 million. Budget is unavailable. I can guarantee you the budget was not very high, though. Adam Brody is the one that's acting in it. It's called The Players, of course, because that's just the way that things work here on Box Office Mojo. No information about who directed it, no information about anything else other than the fact it's an hour and a half and made $10 million, which, again, for a Fox Searchlight independent film, seems to be pretty darn good. And it is an interesting premise. As I said, gets married, has to then survive the night, as it were, from the new family. And sounds like the husband is not really into it and trying to save her and protect her based on what we see in the trailer. So who knows how this one ends, but I'm sure some family members will indeed die. Dora the Explorer, the movie that both me and Josiah love, not doing anything, unfortunately. $60.4 million on a $50 million budget. This film's not likely to recoup its money, at least in theaters. I would say probably when it gets released on the DVD and Blu-ray, it'll make some of that money back, but definitely not a great showing for this film that I think many of the people behind it thought it would at least make it to the $100 million mark, but it hasn't, and I think it's actually a fun movie. I think that's a good family film, and we don't really get a whole lot of good family entertainment that is not trying to preach some political agenda to you. Talking to you, Toy Story 4. And we have, of course, the movie that I love to talk about every single week, which is Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, making $239.7 million, so making a lot of money overseas now, opening up in certain markets, and so now more and more people are going to see it, and it's definitely getting to the point now where it is making money finally, which is great to see because movies like this deserve to get money because they're original stories that are very rare in Hollywood. The fact that you have giant Hollywood names behind it, the fact that you have a Tarantino film, we don't really know how many exactly we're going to get. He says 10, sometimes he says 11, sometimes he says it could be more than that. The fact that he's putting a limit on himself, though, is really cool because he's not just that director that's going to pump out movies every single year to try and make a paycheck. He's going to try and make movies, obviously that he wants to make, but are good quality films. Whether we like them or not, we can at least appreciate them for what they are. But anyway, what are y'all's thoughts about this? Have you seen any of the movies that came out? Again, it's been a very slow weekend. Have you seen Angel Has Fallen? Is anyone actually a fan of this now trilogy? Again, I just don't quite understand it, but hey, you might be in that position. Anyone seen Good Boys? Thinks that I'm totally off base there. Again, as I said, I just don't personally like to see that. Overcomer. Anyone of faith out there? Again, I am a person of faith, as you know, but I just tend not to really like those types of films because they're normally cheesy and corny and just not very well made. I will say this much, though. There's a great film that is faith-based called Unplanned, and it's great because it's not just faith-based, but it's also science-based. And if you know anything about Planned Parenthood, then you'll have an idea of what the film's going to be about. But it's still a very, 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 very good story that probably needs to be seen. The fact that Hollywood basically tried to blacklist it, basically try to say, no, you cannot show this movie, shows people just how powerful it is. And it's actually a better film than most. The acting is very solid. The writing isn't god-awful. The cinematography isn't just cheesy as all hell. I mean, there are definitely some moments in there because it is going to be from a more faith-based perspective, or at least from faith-based people. That being said, I think it's an important story that people need to see. So that's Unplanned. It's now available on DVD and Blu-ray, so I highly recommend that one for anyone, especially if you're on the fence when it comes to issues like that, especially with Planned Parenthood. Find out what they're actually all about from someone that actually was a part of it. So anyway, that's going to be my little soapbox moment. But anyway, what are y'all's thoughts about these movies? Let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, smash that like button, give me the thumbs up, give me a subscribe. It helps us a lot. You guys are all amazing and beautiful people. Go check me out over on the Odin's Movie Vlog channel if you want more information. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful day, and as always, God bless.